Good morning, students. Today I am here with a very important topic, and that is repeat sentences. This topic was requested by a student, and I felt that yes, it is an important topic. So let's cover it today. Let us understand today that what are the smallest details that we need to consider when we study repeat sentences, when we practice them, and also how can we make this nightmare, this topic which everybody is scared of, to be honest, how can we make it a little easier after the end of this video? Let's get started. Alright, so I'll just give you a quick background about speaking. We know that speaking is the very first section of our exam, and it has 5 different types of questions in it. Number 1 is read aloud. You must have seen read aloud video by Manmohit. If you haven't seen it, I would encourage you to see that video. Second will be repeat sentences, which we are covering today. Third is describe image. Next is retell lecture, and the last will be answer short questions. Now out of 5, one of them is not important, and we all know that answer short questions are not important, but the remaining 4 topics, they are very important. Now let us start focusing on repeat sentences. I always start explaining my topic from the name itself. If I write down the name, it is very easy for me to understand. What is the name of this topic? Repeat sentence. That means there will be a sentence that will be given to you. Your job is to repeat the same sentence. Now repeat means you have to speak the same thing. That is the actual meaning of repeat. So you cannot make changes in the sentence that you just heard. If you make changes in the sentence, then you're not repeating the same thing, and hence you will lose a lot of marks. Okay. Now, how many questions in exam? 10 to 12 questions of repeat sentence. Now, I have seen a lot of exceptions where students have got less than 10 questions, where students have got 12, 13 and up to 14 questions as well. So if you get more or less than this number that we just discussed, don't panic, don't get stressed out. Just think one thing, whatever sentence comes, my job is to repeat it. That's it. The number really doesn't matter over here. Okay. Now, what is the next thing? That what is the length of the sentence that you will get in the exam? In terms of words, it will be 7 to 15 words. And in terms of audio length, if I say in terms of time, that would be 3 to 5 seconds. And I'm assuming that you all know that in this exam, the audios, they never get repeated. So once you listen to the audio, that's it. They will never replay those audios for you. Hence, you have to be very attentive and you have to concentrate a lot. Now, when I say that this is the length of the sentence and in terms of time it is 3 to 5 seconds, again there can be exception. You might get a word or two more than 15 words. So again, don't stress out that how come I got 17 words or 18 words. I have even seen a sentence which was as long as 20 words. So our job is not to stick with this data. Our job is that this data should just give us an overview of what this topic looks like. Okay. Now, the next thing that I want to discuss over here is what happens in repeat sentence. Now, first thing is you will get a small prep time. What is that prep time? Preparation time, I mean 3 seconds. So before the audio starts playing, they will give you 3 seconds. You can see it on your screen. It says beginning in 3, 2, 1. Now those 3 seconds, you're not supposed to do anything. Please don't touch your pen, paper. We are not going to take any notes in repeat sentences. Please absolutely never take notes in repeat sentences. Don't think those 3 seconds are so that you can start writing. Don't do that. Some of you will say, I'm comfortable when I take notes. I agree, you are comfortable, but are you able to speak the complete sentence in a good flow without making any mistake? Probably not. So let us see what we can do the other way around. So those 3 seconds, my job is I am just mentally prepared. Okay, the sentence is going to come. Let's just concentrate on the computer, not what my neighbors are doing, not what someone behind me is doing. Pen and paper should not be touched. That is the mindset for those 3 seconds. Then you will listen to the sentence. Okay. Once the sentence stops, that means once the audio stops, you have to immediately start repeating. Now sometimes they give you a window of 3 seconds. to relax and then speak, and sometimes they don't. So over here I'll keep it generalized. You may get it, you may not get it. So what you need to keep in mind is that don't practice in a way that you will definitely get those relaxation seconds. Practice as if the audio is over, and then you will just have to repeat it. So you have to repeat the audio at the end of the completion of the question. Okay, now let's say the question is like this: it is a beautiful, bright, sunny day in Adelaide today. Now, if you are living somewhere else, not in Adelaide, sorry, I always take Adelaide in picture because I've been living in this city for a long time. But I'll try to cover different cities and different countries as much as I can. But for now, it is a bright, sunny day. Let's say it is a bright, beautiful, sunny day in Adelaide today, just to make it a little bit of confusing sentence. So let us write it down. It is a bright, beautiful, sunny day in Adelaide today. Okay, 3, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I am in the proper range. 10 is okay. Now obviously this is an easy sentence, I agree, but still it's a good start, right? So now, it is a bright, beautiful, sunny day in Adelaide today. You have heard this sentence now in your question. Now, what is your mindset? What is your strategy that you need to use when you listen to this sentence? If I have this sentence in my exam, what I will do is have a look at this. Let's say I see beginning in 3, 2 and 1 seconds. I have my headphones with me. I will close my eyes and I will listen to the sentence like this, because I'm not writing. There is someone sitting here doing something, there is someone sitting here doing something, some background noise, everybody is doing speaking, very easy to get distracted. I want to concentrate only on my sentence. Chances are that when you are doing repeat sentence, your neighbors are also doing repeat sentence, or maybe they are doing read aloud, retell lecture. In short, they are screaming because everybody has paid that money. Everybody wants 90 at that moment. They will scream. You cannot stop them. What you can do is have a control over yourself. Close your eyes. When you close your eyes, your concentration level increases by 76%, and this is a real number. Okay. So we need to keep in mind that I at least want to increase my concentration level. How can I do that? Close my eyes. I will close my eyes like this, and then I will listen to the sentence. It is a bright, beautiful, sunny day in Adelaide today. Now I have heard the sentence. What is the second strategy that I need to keep in mind while doing the repeat sentence? When the sentence is being played, try to picturize that sentence in front of you. Try to visualize that sentence. Try to see that sentence in front of you. Now, why do I say this? I have a question for you, and I have asked this question to a lot of students of mine. I always ask them, let us take two scenarios. Let us take the first scenario as someone said something to you 10 years ago which was not that important for your life, or you read something 10 years ago which was again not that important for your life. Will you remember that more? Or second scenario, you have watched a movie 10 years ago. Okay, again that movie was not that important for your life, but you still had watched that movie 10 years ago. Now if I ask you any question from that movie or from what you read or you had heard, what do you reckon that you remember the most? I'm pretty sure that your answer is second scenario, and that is the movie you watched, because what you see stays in your memory for long. So why am I expecting you to visualize this sentence? Because what happens most of the time is students, they keep their eyes open, concentration level not that good. They listen to the sentence, they didn't try to visualize, and while speaking they forget, because not all the sentences will be rosy and easy. Some sentences will be, but some may not be. We are preparing for the worst case scenarios. Okay. So strategy number 1, close your eyes while listening to the sentence. Obviously, you will open your eyes the moment the sentence finishes to speak, because you need to see on the computer whether it says recording or not. Second strategy is that try to visualize the sentences. A lot of sentences are academic sentences, for example, related to university, colleges, assignments, homework, and you have been through that phase of life. So if someone says university, I can imagine that big, good university. Now I know, my brain knows that, okay, there is a sentence related to university. This strategy sounds very dramatic, very unreal, but it is true only if practiced. So if you make a habit of it, if you practice it day in, day out, then this strategy will give you results. If you do it one day and then you leave it for 5 days, definitely it's not going to show you any results. Okay. Now, before I move on, what I would like to discuss over here is repeat sentences. What are the techniques involved, or what are the, I would say, strategies, and it's not strategies, I would say, what are the techniques would be a good word. Okay. Number one, the first technique that they judge you on is your listening skill, listening technique. Okay. And the second thing is your speaking, because if you cannot listen to the sentence properly, there is no way you can speak the sentence properly. That is why the scores will go to both listening and speaking section. The weightage will be 30 out of 90 in listening and 30 out of 90 in speaking. Hence, we know that this topic is very important. Second thing I would like to say over here is, how much should I practice? How many questions should I do in a day? Okay, I will give you a fixed number. Please do that. 50 per day. And try to do it at least 5 days. I would say it should be 7 days. Okay. Whenever I teach this topic, I tell my students, repeat sentence is one such topic. It's like brushing your teeth. You cannot brush half an hour today so that you do not brush for next 5-6 days. That is not possible. Doesn't matter you brush for 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 4 minutes. You have to brush every single day of your life, otherwise you know the consequences, right? It is the same with repeat sentences. Do not think I will practice 2 hours of repeat sentence today and then next 4 days I'm not going to do, I'm going to just relax, and then 5th day I will get up suddenly and start doing repeat sentences and I will be at the same level. Absolutely not. Please do 50 sentences every day so that you are no more scared of this topic. If you do not face it, you will be scared, and in exam you will see that you are not comfortable doing this topic. Okay, so that is one thing I wanted to cover. Let us understand a few technical details about repeat sentences. Not very important, so I'll be a little quick. Okay, let's start. Let's say there is a sentence of 14 words. So this is my sentence of 14 words. Now, whenever you have a sentence, there is a distribution of scores. And what is that? 5 marks for fluency, 5 for pronunciation, and 3 for content. So that means one question is total 13 marks. Now you must be wondering, if it is total 13 marks, 10 questions, 130 marks, what's the game? Don't stress on that part. Honestly, that is not something you should focus on, but just a quick glimpse. They will take an average at the end. So let's not focus on marks too much. Let us focus how to get those marks. Okay. Now, quickly, we know what they are, but let's do it. Fluency means your flow. Fluency doesn't mean that you speak like a rocket. You speak like a train. If you are fast, it is a bright sunny day in Adelaide today. That is not fluency. Fluency means whenever you speak without hesitation. You speak with a lot of confidence. That is fluency. Okay. Fluency doesn't mean speaking fast. A lot of students I have seen, they believe that if I speak very fast in the exam, I'll get a good score. That is not the correct technique. Okay. Please don't fall in those traps given by some of the teachers who say speaking fast means you'll get a good score. That doesn't work. It might have worked in 1 or 2 cases. That's an exception, but that's actually a trap. Speak normally. Okay. You're not going there to be short of breath in exam. I never do that. If you have watched my video, you should notice by now that I don't speak fast. My style is to speak slowly but clearly. Next is pronunciation. Pronunciation is nothing else but clarity. Right now I am speaking if you are not able to understand what I am speaking, that means my pronunciation is not good. That means I'm not clear. You have to be loud enough, not screaming, but a general loud enough, and you have to be clear. Last is content. Content is simply nothing but whatever the sentence is given to you, you keep the sentence same while repeating and you get a good score in content. Okay. Now, let us go a little bit deeper. When I say it is 13 marks in total, how can I get 13 out of 13? Obviously, by speaking the sentence 100% correct. Okay, that is the strategy. Now, let's say I made one mistake and I get 12 out of 13 because I was only 99% correct. I made one mistake, I lost 1 mark. Very, very obvious, I would say. Now, the game changes a little bit here. Let's say the sentence was too long, or the audio quality was not good, or the accent was not good, and I only managed speaking half of the sentence, and that is 7 words out of 14. Let's say first 7 words. I'm not talking about 2 words from the first part, 1 word from the middle, and then 3-4 words from the end. Not like that. Half of the sentence. Okay, first half. Let's say first half for this case. So I only managed speaking 50% of the sentence. That means I will again get 12 out of 13. Okay, this is where they are very liberal to us. They are not giving us 6 or 6.5 out of 13 for speaking only 50%. Now, why am I telling you this? Just because you have seen this, please don't take repeat sentences lightly. And don't think, oh, it's easy, I can speak half of the sentence and I'm getting 12 out of 13. No, that's not how you think. Because if you take that as a strategy, and let's say for some reason you are short of 1 word and you speak little less than 50%, let's say 49% of the sentence you spoke and it was correct, but you get 0 out of 13. If you are any less than 50% of the sentence, straight 0. There is no score between 0 and 12. You either get 0 or you get 12 for speaking half of the sentence correct, or you get 13 out of 13 for speaking the full sentence correct. Your target has to be 13 out of 13, not 12 out of 13. Okay, we always target higher. What I want to say over here is, let's say there is a sentence where you can manage speaking more than 50%. Obviously, you will speak more than 50%. The more you speak, the better it is for you. But the reason I have told you this strategy is because of 2 things. Number 1, let's say after understanding what repeat sentences are, and now that you know that you have to practice 50 sentences a day, you start practicing it from today or tomorrow. Now, the problem is that when students start practicing, they expect results on day 1. They think, I have done 20 sentences, why am I not perfect? Do you think it is that easy? No. Anything you start, any new job you start, or any new sort of training you start, it can be learning driving. Are you perfect on day 1? No, you are not perfect on day 1. You have to do that task consistently on regular basis in order to reach that level of perfection. So what I am trying to say is, when you start doing repeat sentences day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, don't expect perfection on these initial days. They are just those raw days. You have to chisel yourself to reach to that level of perfection, which will take handsome amount of time. It might take 5 days for someone, it might take 3 days for someone, it might take up to 10 days for someone. Everyone is different in this case, okay? But if you do it on a regular basis, guess what? End result is the same, and that is a very good score, okay? Now, let's say I start practicing from today. I've heard a sentence and I'm now repeating. What should be my mindset? I listen to the sentence, I've closed my eyes, I'm trying to picturize, and I start speaking. Can we prioritize speaking half of the sentence for first 2-3 days? Because I want to get those 12 marks first in my pocket. Remember, I told you you get 12 marks for speaking at least 50%. Can we target that first? Can we get those 12 marks in our pocket first and then stress about the remaining part of the sentence to get 13 out of 13? Please don't jump onto 100% of the sentence from day one. The day you feel, yes, I can confidently speak more than 50%, let's say 60% or 65% or 70% of the sentence, that day should be the day when you start preparing for 100% of the sentence. Don't get confused. If I'm confusing you, replay the video a little bit. What I'm trying to say over here is, first few days, let's say first 3 days, I only focus on speaking 50 to 60 to 70% of the sentence, so that I know that okay, I've closed my eyes, I'm listening, I'm speaking, okay, 12 out of 13 is done. After you have that confidence that I can get 12 out of 13, then start your struggle for 100% of the sentence. But don't start your struggle for 100% from day one. Now, when I say half of the sentence correct, it can be either the first half of the sentence or the last half of the sentence. Don't think it has to only be first half to get a good score. No. Let's say the sentence is, it is a bright, beautiful, sunny day in Adelaide today. If you say like this, beautiful sunny day in Adelaide today, because your brain remembers the last part very well. If you say the last part first and only the last part, you will still get the score for 50%. Or if you do like this, which a lot of students do, you speak the last half first because your brain remembers it, it's fresh in your brain, it recently finished, the sentence recently finished. If you remember that first, speak the last half first and then you can come back to the first half. So in case you reverse the order, you will not lose any score for that. But you cannot do this. You speak the first word, then the sixth word, then the ninth word, then the 10th word, then come back to the third word. You cannot jumble the sentence. First half, last half. You can speak the last half first or you can speak the first half first. That's it. Half. You cannot break the sentences more than that. If you understand what I'm trying to say. Okay. Now, what I will be doing is I will play one or two sentences and I will show you how I do it. Once you watch me doing it, please do the same. Again, 50 sentences a day. Practice a lot, and if you have any further questions, if you feel that there is something I missed covering in this video, free feel to comment in the comment section below. You might be expecting something more. Just post it in the comment section. We will be very happy to share as much as we can whenever you want. Okay, let us go to our first audio.
We all know there are more important things in life than the rat race.
We all know that there are more important things in life than the rat race. Now you see how I kept my eyes closed. It helps me to concentrate. Also, I am comfortable speaking with my eyes closed. You might be comfortable speaking with your eyes open or eyes closed, but you have to make sure that on the screen it says recording. If the word recording is not there, you don't speak, because that means it's not recording you. So you can have the strategy of keeping your eyes open if you are comfortable. There are many students comfortable with eyes closed. Okay, now you might have made one or two mistakes, which is fine, but starting with this level is also fine. Let us say the sentence was too long for me and I cannot catch the entire sentence. How do I speak the half of it? Like this.
We all know there are more important things in life than the rat race.
We all know that there are more important things. Done. I know I have spoken at least half. If you are comfortable with the last half, this is what you do.
We all know there are more important things in life than the rat race.
There are more important things in life than a rat race. See how I can manage speaking the last half? Some of you might be easy going with the first half. Some of you might be easy going with the last half. Decide it for yourself. But how do you decide? When you practice 100 sentences, automatically you will understand that okay, my comfort zone is to speak the last half first, or my comfort zone is to speak the first half first. Analyze that, what is your comfort zone to speak, and then do it accordingly. Repeat it every single day. Let us do one more.
I was young and inexperienced and going too fast in wet weather.
In going too fast in wet weather. You see how I spoke the last half first? The other way.
I was young and inexperienced and going too fast in wet weather.
I was young and inexperienced in going. The first half first. This will be my strategy for at least 3 days. Only master speaking half of the sentence. Do not go for 100%. Let's say after 3 days I am good at speaking 50% of the sentence. Now is the time you start struggle for 100% of the sentence. But before, it's like you have to understand this thing, that you are not able to do the first step and you are planning to do the 10th step. It doesn't work that way. We need to only focus on one thing at a time. Okay, one more.
It is quite clear that further research is required.
It is quite clear that further research is required. Now, when the sentence is short, you can aim for 100% from now. This was not a very difficult or a long sentence. But if you notice the way I spoke, let's do it again.
It is quite clear that further research is required.
It is quite clear that further research is required. My focus is on my fluency and my pronunciation as well. I will not speak like this. It is quite clear that further research is required, thinking that if I am very fast, I will get a 90. No, that doesn't work. Again.
It is quite clear that further research is required.
It is quite clear that further research is required. So I have to focus on the clarity of the sentence at the same time, along with the fluency, my flow. I have to be clear that I am fluent in speaking. That means my hesitations are not there, and I'm also loud and clear, and I'm also not compromising on the content. I have to have a balance of all three. I cannot just focus on one, and that is fluency, which a lot of students do. Okay, now I hope it was clear that what you do in repeat sentences, how you tackle this topic. Again, I would repeat at a closing note that the only way you master this topic is by doing it every single day. 50 sentences per day. Do it again and again. If you are listening to a sentence you don't understand, that's fine. Repeat it 5 times. Don't think that after listening to 5 times anyone can do. It's not that way. This is your practice. This is not the real exam right now. Practicing 100 times is okay because you will not make mistakes if you do repeatedly in exam. If you don't repeat yourself here, you will struggle in exam. With that, what I would like to say again at a closing note is, if you feel that you are struggling with something very specific in PT, you can always post it in the comment section below, and we will try to bring that content first over what we are planning to do in the future. Okay, and with that I'll take your leave. God bless all of you. Stay safe wherever you are in this world. Take care of yourself. Be healthy, I would say. Practice whenever you have time. Repeat sentences you can do when you are cooking. Repeat sentences you can do when you are gardening. Repeat sentences you can do when you are traveling. So it's not that you have to have that laptop, paper, pen, this all set up. Nah. Your phone is there with you. You have your headphones. Start doing repeat sentences whenever you have time. Even at work, if you're allowed to, do it, because you don't have to scream. Repeat sentences should be played on a YouTube video. Start repeating them, and that's how you become the master of it. All right. With that, I'll take your leave, and yeah, see you. Bye-bye in the next video. Take care.